Welcome to Food Alchemy Network. We invite you to tune in, tune up, and tune out. All the distractions bring forth a new mindset of open, higher frequency vibration. We want you to sit back, close your eyes for this moment and meditate before we begin our journey. We want to invite you to glide with us throughout the galaxy as we touch other higher frequencies and unite on Food Alchemy Network. Where we bring in inspiration, joy, education, insightful, loving vibration. Dr. Cicely D'Angelo promises to bring you ways to up level to another level each and every broadcast. So stay tuned to Food Alchemy Network. Dr. Cicely D'Angelo will be your guide. She is the captain of Food Alchemy Network. Thank you for staying tuned and dialing in to Food Alchemy Network.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Dr. D, aka Food Alchemist from Food Alchemy Network. Thank you and welcome for coming to my channel. And we're going to talk today of a memory of an Earth Angel that transitioned on August 6, 2015. I want to take you through a journey that can be magical. It also can be heartwarming. It also can be heartfelt in many ways that we haven't thought about when someone transitioned. How do we go about it? How do we accept it? And some of the steps of things and emotions that we experience. It's been 5 years in a month now, and a couple of days would be 5 months and 5 years and 1 month. You know, we go through different stages. So I want to walk you through the things that can happen, things that were actually life-changing for me during this experience of losing a loved one, not only a loved one, but my firstborn that was brought to me at the age of 23, which was wonderful. And some people say that it gets easier day by day. Some people say that you can live in sadness. Some people say that you can actually go into a depression and never come up. And some people say that you don't want to live and go on. So there's different memories, different things that we walk through. And some people say because you're a metaphysician or a metaphysical person or a spiritual person, you're not supposed to grieve. You're not supposed to have emotion. You're supposed to just go with the flow and just accept it for what it is because, you know, in this 3D life form that we live, that is just all a part, being part of that entity or realm. So I say to those, unless you walked in the shoes and experience what another person experienced, do not make judgment. And the way you deal with stuff is different than anybody that you see. Hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna go to a commercial real quick.
Have you seen those truffles that sit on the table over there? They're made with sugar and spice and everything nice. No, no, no.
Corey,
They're made with
Corey.
the sweetness of all things natural. From cacao to agave to herbs you never heard from distant lands.
Get
It helps
Lacey.
the body and brings the
She's
body back
barking,
down to
and
the
I'm
level.
on the radio.
Have you ever had
Hurry up. I'm on the TV.
you would like an orgasmic
Get her.
drink? Try the truffle organic that are vegan and kosher friendly, created by Dr. D. Run out and get it today.
Corey, is she gone? Okay. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I had to take a quick commercial break real quick because of the fact that I am had a little issue to take care. Some things are going live. Not everything in your environment actually vibes right all the time. It goes in all divine time. So maybe it was a break for me to get my head together. Maybe it's a break for me to regroup or whatever. So it presented an opportunity. And I thought, why not just put commercial on? That was 55 seconds. So not that long, not even one minute. So let's talk about the things that you can go through. As I said, my lovely eldest is now a elder, and my elder as well as my earth angel. I decided as I'm going down this memory lane, I wanted to do something to celebrate my youngest. Actually, at the time, was going to go graduate from high school, and we were going to all plan to move to another country. That's what we've been waiting for. We've, as a family, always wanted to live overseas. So this was my journey, my time. So I had made plans, me, my eldest, and my youngest, to actually decide to be a global citizens, a global family, if you will. So that was planned, and we were buying the ticket, and my son told me right after his prom that he did not want to actually go there. So that, you know, rearranging everything, what I did is I made a decision that he could stay here, and my eldest at the time decided that she would stay behind and be the support for my son because she was like a second mother to him. So that was wonderful. Also, if you guys don't know, my daughter was also had end stage renal failure. She was placed on dialysis and had received dialysis since she was 12, being in my home. But she was not on any medications. She's had a transplant in her life. My child at the time had over, we want to say over 200 or something surgeries. Some not so successful, some that were forced, and a lot of obstacles. She is why the person you see today, is why I'm here. But she went through a lot and journeyed a lot and became quite mature, very responsible. She had her down times and her happy times and her sad times. But she also completed her associates in business management while in high school. So she got a high school degree as well as an associate's degree from college, and decided that she wanted to go on to her master's overseas, which I wasn't aware of at the time. So she is a very active young lady, and the questions that she was asked as from a doctor, how is she able to survive being on dialysis and not being on medications? Because most people that are in her position always need some kind of medication or need some kind of failure of something, but that didn't seem to be the case for her. So that was quite disheartening for her and for me to hear that someone was questioning her ability of how she was making it. Quite sad, actually, because the body is repairable. It repairs itself. It gets itself in the right healing modality with the right people if you know who to contact, or if it's all, as we say, in divine time. And I happen to be very blessed to have that on my side. So that's back a little background story of her and what was going on. We made the decision. I bought my ticket and I was to leave in July, but my intuitive spirit was pulling me, and I was talking to a spiritual friend about something, was telling me I needed to go, and one side was saying I needed to stay. So I don't know which one it was, but I sat down and talked it over with my eldest, and she says, "Mom, this is what you want to do. I believe you should go." So Spirit was saying, "You're going to regret it if you go, and you're going to regret it if you don't go." So I decided to go. In the meantime, me and my eldest had did some classes like Muna Aiki, and that was Earth Keeper of that. So she got her Muna Aiki degree with the individual, and I became a Muna Aiki, means Earth Keeper, and of shamanic practice. So we did that. So before I left, we did that in the month of July before I left to go for Belize. So she was there. That Tuesday, I noticed something not quite being right, and I told her that she needed to sit down and talk with her physician and figure out what was going on about some things she was having with her machine that wasn't quite right. At that time, they put her under extensive test in July in order to be on this special portable machine. So it's a she was at Davida. So for her to get portable dialysis instead of doing hemodialysis is a play when you go to the center like 3 times a week, and you have to actually go into the center, and it's a couple of hours. You can be on a machine for 4 to 5 or 6 hours, all depends on what it is. So you might get a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And you can go in the morning or you can go in the night. They have all different types of schedule. Then they have the ones at nighttime dialysis, where you would go in at nighttime, at late at night, around about maybe I'll say about 8 or 9. You're put on a machine, and then you get up in the morning, and you're supposed to lay down. Each center is very different, that I learned there through Davita and Furnace Hospital, the different dialysis system that they actually have there. So it's quite different in how they set up everything. So that being said, giving you a little background, she wanted to go on a portable where she would do it at home. It would allow her to actually travel. It would allow her to do a lot more activities that all she had to do is when she come home is sit in her chair, her bedroom or whatever and do dialysis. And that means her area has to be very sterile, no air drafts, none of this stuff. It has to be a sterile area. So you got to be really copacetic in keeping it clean. Now, before that, in order for her to do that, they have to make sure that her system is going to be accepting of this type of treatment. Now, this is not our first time. When she was much younger, we tried to do peritoneal dialysis. It did not work. So it also caused her to have a heart attack while she was at high school. And they ran and they had to take her from the hospital and from high school, matter of fact, from high school, and actually drive her to the hospital. And I beat them there. I got a call, I was doing my runarounds for my business, and I got a phone call that I needed to meet my daughter at the hospital. Or the nurse was asking me, "What do you think I should do?" I was like, "If her blood pressure, this is a normal question, if her blood pressure is raised, she doesn't look good, what do you think you're supposed to do? You are a nurse, you are a RN working in a school." That kind of it frustrated me and the parent. But getting back to the internet hand. I told her to call emergency and have her there. So I followed them and beat them, like I said, beat them to the emergency room. And it was seen that the machine that she was put on raised her blood pressure, gave put more pressure on her heart than it was supposed to because it was not taking the fluid out accurately as it was supposed to. So this again, this is her second time being on peritoneal dialysis. So she's tried it a various times. So we're thinking that it'll get better. You have to get educated. You have to learn. So we've been through that, and we did it again. And she says, "Mom, this is imperative." She said, "I'm 23. You got to let me do what I need to do." So me being the mother that I am, I had to accept that she knew better what to do than I would know what to do, and that it was for her to grow and actually learn and actually uh, be an adult, and me step back and stop interfering. And that is hard for a parent like myself. I'm very hands-on parent, trying to protect my children of anything that I see. And sometimes it's hard. It was hard for me as a parent to stand back and watch them make mistakes. But in order for your children to learn, you have to be able to step back. And at this case, I did step back. I stepped back in this area and let it go, even though I had a feeling something was wrong, even to the surgery when she had it in July before I left. And I again asked her, "Do you think I should stay back because you're having this surgery and cancel my trip maybe for next month?" And she said, "No, Mom, you need to go on this trip and I'm going to be all right." And I said, "Okay." So I took that in stride. So I left 2 weeks later for my trip after graduating, feeling she had the tools. She was a Reiki, she was second level Reiki, Mona Aiki shaman. She knew some things to do, being around me as a herbalist, and also being around this kind of healing modalities, talking. And she also did readings. So I figured this would be, really good for her to let her be on her own and actually help her get step up and be an adult, if you know what I mean. And I thought this would help in a lot of ways. I thought that's what I would be doing by letting that um, go. So, it's kind of hard as a parent to step back and see those things that our children do. But only way they're going to learn sometimes is making mistakes and um, doing it. You know what I mean? Doing what they need to do. But getting back to my trip. So I got to my trip and I got to Belize, and the person who was supposed to be waiting for me, it was like really funny. The person who was supposed to be waiting for me was not actually there. So I had Verizon, and they said, "Verizon works everywhere." I was not able to call the person in the country I was in. So my daughter, for me, intervened and basically communicated why my internet worked over the Verizon, and communicated with him. And then he let me know he was going to be there. And where I was going in San Ignacio was it was like I think like two to 3 hour ride, can't even remember. And the gentleman I got was so wonderful, took me there. We stopped and got something to eat before we went further to San Ignacio, going over the bridge into the village of San Ignacio. Um, Took me and dropped me off at the house. The lady met me at the house, knew I was coming, got my key, and made some beautiful friends. As Rachel, she was RN. She and I corresponded before I got there, so that's been really beautiful. So I was ready, set up, and then the next day I was just able to move in. I had a bed. Um, it was really nice, and then I went out and bought pots and pans and all of that the next day. So it was really like me starting over and getting to know for the next couple of days. I talked to my daughter because I had internet, and that's thanks to my neighbor. I was able to talk to her at night. We would do the Skyping between me, her, and my son. So it was never any time that we kind of were out of touch. Only the time we were when I let them know that I was going from flight to flight to flight, which was, really nice. So I had talked to my daughter and I asked her about her appointment that I asked her to make. And she said that they said that the machine, they told her to up her levels in her bags. And she said, okay. And I asked her, was, fluid coming off? Just little mom questions that you ask. And she said, no, it wasn't. And I said, well, I think you need to make an appointment to see the doctor again and let them know, or matter of fact, call them. And she said, Mom, I will. So that was good. So I was feeling good. So when I talked to her, she said she went back. They said, they're going to see her, that they're going to try to fix this, that it was okay. So I was feeling pretty good, comfortable, getting to know, getting relaxed, just in. And then I want to say August 5th to 6th, it was the worst storm ever. The worst storm ever to happen. In Belize and San Ignacio, we had a lot of wind and a lot of stuff. And um, I had something come over me and say that a spirit said it was not my time to leave this earth, but I didn't understand. So I felt so good. I decided to make a video and I was all excited, like A1, getting this done, tell people about my experience. I got on the internet and it's working, telling people what's going on, doing videos like I had the day before. But something was a lull in my gift. So I called my daughter and was on Skype. And this particular Skype, we were not able to see, like, you're seeing me face to face. We didn't do a face to face this go around. And she said because she was doing something, and I didn't even question. I said, okay, no problem. So I said, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. This and this. This is what you guys got to do. You're running the house. Blah 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 blah. And I'm still paying bills for this place I'm staying at and the place back in the States. So we got that over the thing, and she said she was doing fine. Oh, she said her throat was hurting. So I told her what she needed to do, and she said okay, she was going to do that. And then my son went out. So then I decided to call him because I have a way of calling. I am always reachable. I might not get back to you that moment, but if it comes to me, I'll be able to talk to you in a time. We'll set up a time. That's what I love about the services I have and the connections that I have, that I am reachable by phone or by email at any time. So I talked to my son for a little bit, and he was kind of worried about his sister. And he told me that she didn't look so hot. So I was like, okay. And he said he was going to do some errands and then he was going to go back to the house. And I said, okay, no problem. So what I did is I called her on Skype and she didn't answer the phone. So I didn't think nothing of it too much until maybe I want to say an hour to 2 hours later, I got a phone call from my son saying that my daughter had transitioned, and he was upset. So first I was dumbfounded and thought that was not possible. And then the automatic mode, which calls survival mode, either you shut down or you put up. So I went to my neighbor who happens to be a nurse that seen I was in a state of shock, and she walked me through the process. So I called some blood relatives to help me. And I called some friends to be able to be there for my son, and called, I think yeah, like blood relatives, to let them know what was going on to get the best support. And proceeded to break down a little bit, and was told that I didn't have time to break down, that I had to keep it together, and because nobody would understand what I was doing. So what I did is I did like you do in the military, you suck it up and you deal with it. I'll deal with that at a time. And that I dealt with it. I got on a plane, I got arrangement, shut down my place, let my landlord know that I would not be back for a while. And then I got on a plane, and my neighbor took me 2 hours away, and I was able to get on an airplane that next day, on the 7th, and got back into Arizona on the actually the ninth, the 8th or the ninth. I think like the next day I was there at 9 o'clock. That night I was able to get and be in Arizona, and a person I know picked me up from the airport and was there for my son, and I talked to him on and off during the flight during the transition because I was not able to sleep. And then we walked in and there was a spirit. And then um, which upset me the most was that the police did a report. When I asked for the report, I couldn't get it. When I talked about the body, there was a problem with the body. Couldn't see the body. I was told on the phone I'd be able to see the body without no problem that day, blah, blah, blah. But when I got there, there was an issue. Then it was a $350 fee. So could you imagine going through your grief of what's going on and being in a position where all these things are happening, and you're not able to do what you were told to do, and it's a money game. And that's when I learned that I had to do better planning, because who foresees someone that young actually transitioning at a young age? But then again, there are signs. So it helped the people that actually were not blood that actually helped me um, get in a position of power and actually helped me release some emotions. And some of my biggest fans, I really want to thank you for helping me come together, get money together to actually. I was on a show called True Psychic Networks. True Psychic Networks. They actually helped me get some funds together to actually give my daughter a great coming home send off. Also, from my crowdfunding, people were able to send and actually help her transition, which I really appreciated. It helped me so much that I was able to do the things that I did in that manner. Now you see that how I was talking, there were so many things that were going on, because I also had to get ready to move. I was going to move. I didn't want to stay where my daughter was. So he packed up, got ready, and we moved into another place. When I went back to get the report for my child from Tempe, Arizona Police Department, basically it was just it was not important. And I told them the diagnostics was wrong, the way they diagnosed, which she said that's not how she died. It was due to the function of the machine that Davita put her on that actually caused her to have a heart attack. She didn't have any heart condition. She wasn't born with a heart condition. But being in a pocket, and that is one of the keys of our medical system, of being a person of melanated, how they can misdiagnose you, how they can just sweep it under the rug. And it was swept under the rug, totally swept under the rug. Um, no one um, thought about it. When my friend that worked for a police department from another town tried to get the reports, she cried and she said, Ceci, they're really sweeping this under the rug. They will not. And I gave her the number and everything. And it wasn't until I ran to another female officer and she gave me a report, and she said, as far as they're concerned, she's just another Black child. It doesn't really matter. That's what she said to me. And I'm like, wow, just another Black child. She said, it's your child. But to them, she is just another Black person less for them to deal with. In other words, just another Black person. No, so what? It's no harm, no foul. When I got the autopsy, it was not good. And when I went to seek a lawyer, And because the entities were owned by physicians versus by corporate, they had more to lose. I found that out because it was a corporate decision. So when I called them and let them know what's going on, and they knew that the machine was the one that caused her to have a heart attack because it was not doing its job, they sent someone to my house to actually collect the machine. Like, she was not even, her body wasn't even cold. I hadn't even been home for 2 days. They just knew she died, and someone knocked on my door and said they were coming to get. Not even giving me a phone call. They showed up and knocked on my door and asked for the machine. That was very suspicious of me, of them to do that. That made me think something was wrong. And when I saw a lawyer, he was like, "That's going to be the battle." Guy said that there was a court case that have known for these machines to actually cause people to have a heart attack. But unfortunately, I never got a lawyer to willing to stick up and actually bring her case and get her justice. So that was a little bit disheartening. But what it did gives me, it gave me the gumption of knowing, you know what, I'm not happy here and I want to move. So it gave me the gumption to pack up, move to another state. And then you said, you know what, I don't like this state either. I've been back and forth. It gave me the gumption to get up and go to another country and do something without even thinking that I could actually fail. I went back into that state of mind. Anything that I want to do, I can do. Anything I want to achieve, I will achieve because I am a go getter. And that's all that matters to me. Because I'm a go getter, I can get anything that I want to do. So I know that she transitioned, and I know her time on earth was for a reason. It was also a great blessing to be her mother in this life, in this 3D life form, solid form that I am, that now she watches over me and gives me guidance and communicates. And if you're a spiritual being, you know what I'm talking about. Earth angels have a purpose in this life, and they do the things that they're trained to do while they are here. And then when they get on the other side, I was on the plane and I was looking in the sky and I was looking, it reminded me of going up the stairways to heaven. If you know, like the stairs, they were stacked up. And the message that was said to me was, I can help you better on this side than I can help you on that side. And that's what I plan to do. So when you're going through your transition of someone that has passed, please allow the emotion to let it out. Cry, scream, shout, do whatever you got to do, not to harm yourself or others, but let it out. Release the pain, because the more you hold that pain in, the harder it gets, the harder it's on your body physiologically, psychologically, but spiritually. So that's what I say to you. When someone's transition, feel it. Let the emotions that you feel come through. Wow. Let the emotions that you feel come through and be okay with it. Understand what it is. It's a life form. And it also realize this life form has actually transferred in another life energy, that they have left you in the 3D realm, but they also are in another energetic form spiritually. And now they're one of your ancestors or elders. And that when you do get despair, that you can call upon them and your ancestors together. I really totally believe in my ancestors and what they have foreseen destined for me. And I said, wow, they must think I'm stronger than what I am. And it's sometimes shocking because I'd be like, I don't think I'm that strong. But if y'all think I'm that strong, I'm going to keep it going on. So it must be something innate in you that brings forth that energy, that gives that love, that shows up every time. So don't get down no matter what it is or who it is. You know, stay there in that moment of you crying despair. That is your right. Don't let anyone tell you how to grieve. People say you'll go into denial. Um, I don't think I didn't. Everybody goes through grief differently. I never thought that she was not here because that presence of her was always in my mind. She would be the person I would talk to, and I was like thinking in my mind of spirituality, like, at least I got this idea and I want to do da da da. But not only was she my daughter, she was my best friend. Also, she was my business manager, seeing opportunities, seeing things in me that I didn't think I could actually get to, encouraging me. Well, mom, you can actually get that degree. Mom, you can work on it. I even stopped that because I was in my grieving process, but I thought about it. How proud she would be that I kept it up. How proud she would be that I am where I am today. How proud she would be that we went to these different places and she got to go with us in spiritual sense, the physical sense, leaving her ashes in different places that we went, that she'll always be there, that she wanted to travel the world, she got to travel the world with me, and that there is a part of her that is always with me, and there's always a part of her that seeks me. So when you have an earth angel come into your life, you're able to communicate with them and be in that form of readiness, if you know what I mean. Be in that form of blissfulness. Um, you know what I mean? It helps. I just really think that it's done so much beautiful things to me and for me. So being in my life, it really did wonderful things for me. It helped. Wow, it's just interesting. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm texting while I'm on the phone, and something I asked for that didn't quite happen, but that's okay. You know what makes me stronger? Thank you so much. Thank you for the people that are there for my support, and also divine time for the people that are not. So I am so blessed. Woo, look at that. I am so blessed that the encounters that I've made, and I mean, I met people from different organizations that I don't think I ever would have talked to or met before, and the experiences that I have. I had some nice experience um, while she was here in her 3D form, but I've had some wonderful experiences after her transition. Gave me some things to think about of my life and how I really wanted, and actually do not let my dreams that I want to dream about, do not let them down. Do not despair. Do not get discouraged, but to keep doing what I need to do and know that I can do all these wonderful things in a wonderful way if I so choose to. You know what I mean? Like, I am so truly, truly blessed to be able to open my life and be a key part in a lot of the stuff that I do. You know what I mean? That I'm actually have a doctorate. I actually traveled all over Southeast Asia. I actually got to live in places people only dream about. I've actually met some supreme people where on the I've been in I want to say that I've been blessed to actually be part of a wonderful experience of like being on TV on international, not once, but a couple of times. Not knowing the language, where I actually they were shooting a TV show and I had my son shoot the video at the same time. I got to go around Chiang Mai and actually meet with some different expats and people, and I lived among the the Thai people in Dosaket, also in Chiang Mai, Koh Samui, and Phuket. So I got to get some beautiful feelings. I love Cebu in the Philippines. Love it, love it, love it. I love living on the island. I really feel I am an island girl and I love the mountains. So I that's what I love about the Big Island versus Maui or Oahu is the mountains and the ocean that you say that you see. So now that I know that I'm really an island girl with the mountains and I love water and those coming together, it really helps me get in touch with the things I need to get in touch with. So I had thought about doing this in memory of her, my daughter Lacey, because I think it needs to be reminded. Ooh, my ear, my ear, my ear. Ooh, wow, wow, wow. I mean, it's like ringing. So, as I say, maybe a message is trying to come through and I'm not listening good enough. But I really love the energy that I found, the prayer I've found, the meditation I found, the magic that I found. And what I believe there are a lot of magical beings, meaning magic is innate in your DNA and RNA codes, meaning that you emanate a certain energy, a certain frequency when you walk in a room, when you vibrate, when you talk, when you sit, when you pray, when you walk. You put out a frequency just like a bird does when they send out signals to when they're flying from east to west or north to south, whatever. They put out a frequency and they go on that frequency, that vibe, they feel it. We have that vibe ourselves. It's innate in us, it's something we're born with. And when we tune in, the intuitiveness of us was able to communicate with different realms, different beings, some spirits that have crossed over, some spirits that have not, some spirits that are earthbound, some spirits in a higher realm, some spirits in your high conscious realm, some spirits in other dimensional portals, some in vortex. Some people bring other people through vortexes, and some people bring other beings or frequencies through um, I want to say not mirrors, but uh, holes in the fabric of time. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, like now she's going woo woo, but it's not woo woo stuff. It's about we are a spirit. Do you understand what a spirit is? Do you understand what a spirit does? Do you understand how a spirit flows? It's an energy, it's a frequency, it's a feeling, it's a thought. The first conscious thought that you think is something that you teleport or telepathically say and send out into the universe, that you send out. The first thought that you think is that you're communicating a message out there to bring what you just thought to you unconsciously but subconsciously. So when you're thinking of these beings and you're getting in the realms of me or yourself or what you see or what you want, when you keep working in that realm of your conscious, it's that muscle that gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And it takes on another total fascination, another view of light that gives you the strength that you need to have. I mean, it is beautiful. Just want you guys to think about that. How do you get to that place of getting into that frequency of we think of positivity? What is the first thing that you think about? I thought about that changed my mind was my memory of my baby girl. And what I thought about is how she helped me transcend, how she helped me be the mother that I dreamed about being the spiritualist that I wanted to be, that I would be. I didn't realize until she said, Mom, you're a pioneer. Now you think about that. Oh, that means you might not get the credit for be the first one to do that, and that's okay. But you do it and then you do it and then you perfect it and other people just copy. But you know that you're the original. How cute is that, right? Like you are the original. So that's a frequency you send out. Like, I want to involve new things. I want to do new things. I want to feel new things. So you work in that energy. And when you see that energy that you work in, I mean, it's totally life changing when you go in that energy that, okay, I want to see this. And this is how I see it. Now, everybody else is not thinking like you. That's what makes you uniquely you. But you're thinking like, whoa, I want to do blasey, blasey, blue, but it's not what society would say or do. So I'm stepping back and I'm going to figure out what's going on. Don't be afraid to step into your true self. That's what it is. You're stepping into your true self because you're breaking the barriers down. Now, some people say the more uncomfortable you are, oh my gosh, then you hit on something. Some people say when you just flow through it, then you're at it. So there's different aspects you can see it. Either you flow with it or you don't flow with it. Or you can say, I'm feeling uncomfortable, and because it's uncomfortable, I'm going to step back. Now, the question you need to ask yourself, if I step back into what I'm comfortable, am I going to go further than I was before? So, is it really important, I should say, important for me to be comfortable than be uncomfortable and forge ahead? And what does that look like? What are my way of thinking is always the pros and the cons. What is the pro? I list all the pros. What is the cons? Okay. And then I go for each one. How do I get here? Bop, 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 bop. That's the analytical brain. That is like what a computer does. And we are a human computer. But we have emotions and we have frequencies. So we put out things like the web. You ever see the Y web when they're talking and you see all these I like spider webs or whatever that are coming from here and there. That is your brain when you're sending out frequencies. When you're sending out frequency of depression, when you're sending out a frequency of love, when you're sending out frequency of confusion, you're shooting like little I want to like say spider webs from your brain. You're casting them out and they're going and they're attaching to different things. And then you're pulling that story and that emotion to you. But let's cast out a feeling of happiness. What does happiness feel? Go to your most happiest place and joy. And that's what I did for my daughter. What was the happiest time I had with her? What was the best memories I have of her? What if I did this, what would do? Or does this present the opportunity I want it to do? Am I afraid of making that change? You know what I mean? Like, what change am I not afraid to make? And if I'm afraid, why am I afraid of it? Because for me, being afraid and fear is a low frequency. You can argue with me, but that's okay. I just think it's a low frequency. It's not something that we're made to feel or we're made to feel. Like meaning you're supposed to feel that. I don't think we are. You have an emotion, but I think we need to let it go. That fear. I don't like fear. Not saying I haven't felt it. Oh, of course I felt fear. Um, I used to be afraid of, I think it was fear of heights. And I said, you know what? The only way to conquer the bull by the horn is to get on it and just do it. So I would test it. Like certain things I test for certain things I won't test. Like there is this place that has the glass, and you can see all the way down many, many stories. And you're walking on this glass, and I forgot where I was, and it like totally freaked me out. But I walked and made sure it was stable and said, okay, you're going to get through this because fear is not going to win. It is not an option for you. It is not going to beat you. You're going to go with this hands down and all that good stuff because you deserve to go for it. You know what I mean? You deserve it. So I did. I got over that. Now, let me tell you another time. Driving on Idlewood, California, going up this mountain is easy. Coming down is in the dark. Trying to get home in California. Oh, I was freaking out because there's no rails on the side of going down this mountain, and trucks are flying up and trucks are flying down. So I know everybody wanted me to pull over. I was not pulling over. I was not going to stop till I got to the bottom of this thing, this mountain. And I did it again. And then I was like, okay, I know at nighttime, this is not a good time for me. But again, I'm always testing to make sure that I don't let fear take over my life and make sure I don't miss an opportunity to do something. So I want you to live and think about that. Do not let fear distract you from what you're supposed to do and how you can be. And let me tell you, when you're actually on the path, there are sometimes going to be a lot of distractions, whether it's people, situations, all kinds of things, because they do come and they do go. But it's up to you to know that they're a distraction and then back off and go and do what you got to do. And then if the distraction is there, if it's really for you or for you to work out, you'll work it out. Like I said, I want to do something. I put it out there. The universe answered. The universe gave me a source. Now, the thing is, do I have all the tools to be able to make that reality? And if I don't, what am I going to do? I think about it and come up with a game plan. If that don't work, I'm going to maybe rally up and talk to some people that are on my wavelength for us to get together and talk about it and be of a positive mind source so we can come up with a strategy that is going to kick that butt and make it to the next level for what my idea can be and will be. So I'm telling you, that's just what it is. I was determined for a week. I'll give an example. I was determined I was going to make these vegan crab cakes. I was going to make these vegan fish fries, and I was going to make these corn hush puppies. They were supposed to be in a circle, but that's not what happened. I had everything to distract me. Good distraction because I made money for one. And the other one for two was that I was able to do some things I was not in a position to do. So, but eventually yesterday, I didn't care. There was a lot of distractions coming. I was like, I'm getting this video done. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do the thing. So what I just got my ingredients together. So I had somebody recording, had one part of the video, this part of the video, and it went. And I'm like, you know what? They don't know what I'm doing. So I had to do it. And the video, they kept cutting it out. It was not they intentionally, but they were not able to do it. And it was like, okay, now we're going to run with it. Then I did the fish, and then I did the hush puppies. And the hush puppies, of course, didn't do the circular thing like I wanted because it wasn't thick enough. So what I did is basically I just made popcorn Johnny cakes. So I took it to enough levels. So I took something that could have been to a disaster and made it into something positive and said, I'm just going to do the darn thing. You know what I mean? And I did. And at the end of it, it became beautiful. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The crab cakes looked like real crab cakes. The fish with the blossom banana leaves looked like real fish fillet that you made. And that was beautiful. And the batter that I made and the dry thing, it was beautiful. I mean, the dry batter. So to have it came out beautiful. Now the process to get everything together was like, okay, this is going to be so good. Now I got planning for my next video. Well, I know now I gotta do this, do that, do this to make this video turn out the way I want it to. But you learn each time you do something, you live and you learn. It is so beautiful because we have our idea of we want perfection, and I watch this baby do something, and they stopped doing something because they said, you know what, I can't get it perfect. And I said, you know what,
90 seconds.
You know how the best people get their things in order to be a pro? And she said, what? I said, practice, 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 and practice. You just keep practicing and you make it happen. That never, ever give up on your dream. Ever.
60 seconds.
So I know that Blog Talk is saying that it is time to go. And I know people here on YouTube are still watching me about the transformation. So if you guys want to switch on over, we're going to close out on Blog Talk. I am shutting down in about 34 seconds. So I wanted to say, keep dreaming about what you want to dream about. If you have a question, please raise your hand and let me know. Type it in the YouTube box below, and you will be able to actually talk with me. So I want to say for everybody on Blog Talk, thank you for listening to me. And also, did I say
10 seconds.
We're going to close off.
Welcome to Food Alchemy Network. You have embarked on a journey of unbelievable resources and talent and understanding. Your body thanks you. Your mind embraces you. And all your thoughts are trying, willing, and going into balance with self. Open that portal to the next galaxy, the next universe, the next dimension. Along this trip, our captain extraordinaire is Dr. Tiffany B. Angel. Allow her to guide you, introduce you, and embrace our guests and great resources from the unknown to the known to what we thought, to remove the illusion that you have about yourself, your surroundings, and your of the matrix in which you live. Let's go and embark on this journey. Food Alchemy Network. Dr. Tiffany B. will be truly and proving with you along with her illustrious guests that she has presented on this luxury network of Food Alchemy Network. So without further ado, welcome to Food Alchemy Network and welcome our guests and our illustrious host, Dr. Tiffany D'Angelo. Blessings.
All right, people.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
I hope you guys enjoyed that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing of me called being on the radio. Oh, wow. Okay, say something, please. Track money, penny. I buy you champagne. Oh, it's funny. I'm telling you. Basically, that's all right. It has been a long time, and I had wonderful time, you guys. Thank you for your support. I'm hoping that everybody, if you have love in your life, that you know is a transition not only for you and for them as they transition, that you transition into a new life of new things that you want to do and how you want to do it, that you can be positive on the most beautiful way of life. And never, ever, ever give up on your dream, no matter how many naysayers out there. So let me see. I am the electronic queen. This is Dr. D from Food Alchemy. If you have any questions, you want to know, you want to see some more of me, if you like this, please subscribe down to the buttons below, and I'll be sure to get to your questions and like and subscribe. This has been real. I hope that I was able to help you heal from your earth angel that transitions and also the transformation that goes within yourself. I Ashe.